Prisoner of war, missing in action. Two simple phrases that have an immeasurable impact on those who have served in our armed forces and those here at home who are still waiting for their loved ones to return. In every armed conflict, there are those who will lay down their lives in defense of our ideals and freedoms. And that's why it's both an honor and a solemn obligation to hold our annual POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony. Every year, we recognize those who remain unaccounted for, and this year was no exception. Standing in front of the imposing marble monoliths of the Veterans Memorial Walk, Mayor Bill Hennessy delivered the opening remarks, focusing this year on World War II.
The war raged from December of 41 to August of 45, and when it was over, 400,000 Americans had laid down their lives to guarantee our nation's freedom. Another 79,000 unaccounted for. The good news is, efforts continue to locate these lost troops, not just from World War II, but from all modern conflicts. On behalf of our city, to the families who are still waiting for word of a missing loved one, and to veterans who are looking to have buddies lost from their ranks returned to American soil, our prayers and our hopes are with you. And for the blessings of freedom we enjoy every single day, we are indebted to each and every American who fought for our country.
Our keynote speaker this year was Staff Sergeant Robert Garvey, a distinguished veteran and a former prisoner of war. Rob had flown 30 successful missions as a nose turret gunner on a B-24 Liberator heavy bomber. On his 31st, on a mission to bomb an enemy aircraft factory in Munich, Germany, Rob and his crewmates came under deadly fire.
The plane was attacked by Me-410s, which was a twin-engine fighter that had 30 caliber guns and 20 millimeters. Now, a 30 caliber shell looks like this. These are the same ones that all our gunners on the B-24 shot.
Those 30 caliber shells wreaked havoc on Rob's plane, and his pilot commanded the crew to bail out as the plane was no longer controllable. After successfully leaping from the nose wheel door, Rob landed in a dimly lit field, but his ordeal was far from over.
And the first thing they tell you is to leave your guns at home because you can't shoot your way out. Head for the woods after you gather your chute up, and hide out in the woods during the day and walk towards Switzerland at night. That was my idea, and I was running for the woods when something hit me in the side, knocked me down, and I wasn't sure what it was. I unzipped all my clothes, and I finally saw blood coming out of my chest, and I knew I'd been shot. So, dumb me, I stood up to see where the shot came from, and he shot again, and it went through my arm.
Wounded, tired, and deep behind enemy lines, Rob was captured and marched to a small German town where a German priest and some townsfolk tended to his wounds. Once he was well enough to travel, he was transferred to a military hospital so that he could be interrogated by German intelligence officers.
Well, I was in the hospital about 3 weeks, and they decided to take me to a interrogation center in Frankfurt, Germany. So at the interrogation center, they put me in a cell which was about 10 feet long and about 8 feet wide. The next morning, a German officer came in and asked me where I'd been, and I said, in the hospital in Freising for the last month. He said, well, we know more than you do, so I have no questions for you. But I thought I would tell you that the rest of your crew's been through here and they're all safe.
Robert Garvey spent the rest of the war in a POW camp, and he had several anecdotes about his time there. If you'd like to listen to Rob's account of his time as a prisoner of war, check out OFallon's YouTube channel, where we'll upload the entire ceremony. After Robert's compelling speech, Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 458, and AMVETS Post 106 held a dressing of the table ceremony in honor of those still missing in action. And we held a candle lighting ceremony to commemorate and honor the sacrifice of our servicemen and women. After a laying of the wreath, a rifle salute, and a rendition of taps, the ceremony was concluded. But the memory of those left behind lingers on, and that's why our community holds a POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony every year.
Keep it in mind, that's the main thing, because a lot of POWs are not with us anymore.
We will never forget our prisoners of war and our missing in action until every single one of them is home on American soil where they belong. To me, it's something this city of O'Fallon has been dedicated since this thing's opened up. So it's great for our community.